So what's a beautiful white boy like you doing in a place like this?
It's the biggest fight yet at the Rec Yard in Rossmore State Penitentiary. John draws first blood, and things escalate when Nelson pulls out a screwdriver, but his cellmate comes prepared too, revealing a whole collection of shivs strapped under his waistband. He flings one at Biederman, who ducks just in time. They charge at each other, but it turns into more of a grappling match as they both hit the floor. Lashitsky gains an edge and stabs him, only for the blade to snap. Turns out the newbie's been wearing stolen license plates under his uniform, and even John has to respect the move.
Wow, that is so cool. I saw dress made out of credit cards in Vanity Fair a couple years ago. That's what gave me the idea. I like it. I got one for you.
And one man who's seen the worst of it is John Lashitsky. He's been in and out since age 8, starting off by stealing a Publishers Clearinghouse prize van right in the middle of their celebration, then walking straight into a bank with a billboard-sized check like it was a regular Tuesday. Cops didn't even sweat, just caught him and dragged him straight to Judge Nelson Biederman III. The judge found him guilty, slapped him with 7 years in juvie, and added some insults to go with it, calling him a waste of space. Lashitsky just scowled while the judge hammered the gavel, kicking off what would become a long-term relationship with prison. A few years later, out on the streets and already too old for juvie, he tried robbing 2 cops, point-blank range, and still missed. Moments later, guess who? He's standing in front of Judge Biederman again, with the same courtroom, same lecture, and back to the same cell. At 24, he gets out, enjoys 6 months of freedom, then steals a car and lands right back inside. The speech this time is on Car Theft 101, and it's not just the sentences that get to him, it's how the man never stops pointing out how dumb he is. So this time, after being let out, Lashitsky's got a plan because he doesn't mind going back in, but not before settling things with the old man. He rings the courthouse, pretending to be someone interested in sitting in on a case, and they tell him Judge Biederman's gone. Not retired, but dead gone. The guy damn near crushes the phone in his hand as if he'd gotten out just a few days earlier. He could have done something. Now it's too late, so he leaves the booth, fires a few rounds into it for good measure, then goes to a bar to cool off. That's where he sees a newspaper article about the late judge's son, Nelson Biederman IV, and just like that, he figures if he can't get the father, the son will do just fine. Next thing, he shows up at the Biederman Foundation event honoring the late judge, while the son takes the stage and gives a stiff speech about legacy and justice that has folks staring like they're watching a weird ad. Lashitsky sneaks into his car and makes a mess. Once it's over, Nelson IV hops into his car and heads to the office with some important folks waiting for him. He has no idea his drink's been flavored with someone else's spit, but it does taste funky enough to gag. Still, he's on the phone mid-rant, saying things you shouldn't say when there's a speakerphone on and an audience around. Then comes the stereo blasting loud as he stays totally unaware that the guy driving alongside him is the same one who just laced his cup, the criminal just waiting for round 2. Nelson's asthma kicks up and he grabs for his inhaler only to find it's empty, thanks to John, who emptied it back at the event. Panic hits and he's wheezing, gasping, swerving into a pharmacy lot where he stumbles inside without a word. The old couple behind the counter assumes the worst, that they're being robbed, and a bad one at that. He's tearing through shelves, knocking things over, sending boxes flying, but finally lands one inhaler that he lifts, trying to show them he's not a threat. But just as he does, John fires a shot in the air from outside. The old man hears it, sees Nelson holding something up, thinks it's a gun, hits the panic button, and the old lady fires. That's game, and it's mission complete because the judge's golden boy is going down for armed robbery. Now, the guy is locked up, yelling at his lawyer Dwayne, but the footage clearly shows him ransacking the pharmacy, so his best bet is pleading guilty to get a lighter sentence. Worst part is he's also got to step down as chairman of the Biederman Foundation. The lawyer makes the call with everyone on the board listening on speaker, and one guy suggests calling in a favor from the governor, but Dwayne shuts it down quickly. Everyone agrees it's better to take a break from Nelson anyway, so the attorney takes over for now. In court, he tries to sweet-talk Judge Eva before the trial, throwing around his connections and status, but she isn't having it. She tells him to sit and wait like everybody else.
People like you make me sick, and I don't want your Drakkar Noir stinking up my courtroom. Prosecution, present your case.
The trial begins with a jury that looks like they got picked during a mall raffle. 12 people who don't seem like they've had a serious thought all week and are just excited to be there. The prosecution rolls the footage and the attorney gets up for his client's defense, walks to the jury, and mumbles something about Jurassic Park with no context, no connection, just a random movie reference that confuses everyone, including Nelson. That's the end of it, as they find him guilty of felony assault. Judge Eva gives him 3 to 5 years in Rossmore State Penitentiary. And just like that, John finally sees the man walk the same path his father made him walk over and over again. He cheers from the back, but once the noise dies down, it still doesn't feel like enough. Later, he's sitting with his boys smoking, clearly not satisfied, and one suggests magic potion, but John's looking for something deeper. Then, 2 men knock, wanting to buy some action, and while he knows they're cops, he lets them in anyway and sells to them. Once they leave, he tells his friends to clear out as he already knows what's coming. He's going back to prison, and that's the whole point. At arraignment, he skips the drama, pleads guilty, and requests Rossmore specifically. So the judge keeps it short, grants the wish, and bangs the gavel. Nelson, still in holding, ends up on the same prison transfer as John. The ride over's awkward, but the seasoned criminal keeps it friendly and asks his name, saying he hopes they end up as cellmates, and promising to be nice.
I don't snore, and I'm a pretty quiet masturbator. Hell, I'll even give you the top bunk.
At the prison, the new inmates line up for the warden's welcome speech, which is painfully dry